Dear friends, today is Monday, the beginning of a work week. Many parts of Quebec, they're actually going back to work this week. In Montreal, it'll be next week. School is in 2 weeks. We are the 4th of May, the 10th day of the year, the 25th day of the counting of the Omer, exactly at the midpoint. And today, for our Corona Inspiration Series number 34, I want to address this discussion about opening up society. So across America, there's a big talk about the reopening societies. Certain southern states have done that. Everyone is talking about when will they reopen their society. And Quebec has been very progressive in this way, where Legault, who's been doing a very good job in communicating and trying to really weigh the various things against each other, has been opening up the society for business outside of Montreal, next week in Montreal. They talk about opening up schools. So, the issue is everyone knows that the virus has not fully passed, and many people did not get it. Though many people did get it, thank God many were asymptomatic. But many people did not get it yet, and those people could still get it. And if they get it, unfortunately, it could be very difficult and for some people life-threatening. And we hope never more than that, even though there have been deaths. And unfortunately, in Quebec, a lot of the deaths have been in old age homes, and it's very skewed to that. Very skewed to that. But at the same time, the question is, when we're opening up, we're looking at weighing various things, and that is that the possibility that it may be spread. And the hope for many people is that it'll create a herd immunity, and most people will be over it, and the hospital will be able to deal with those people that suffer because of it. But one thing I want to point out, which is very fascinating in all of this discussion, the biggest concern related to this virus is with the elderly. Because young people, though there have been some young people who have unfortunately died, there have been who have become sick, and many haven't even felt their symptoms. But young people in general are not the danger zone. It's not worse than anything else that we have out there. The real danger zone is older people, and especially the older they get. If they're over 70, it grows exponentially in how bad it can be for them. If they're over 80 and 90, etc. Even though yesterday I heard about a couple, today actually I heard about a couple who are in their 90s that had it. And thank God they both came out alive because it was early intervention. Unbelievable to hear. But we know that older people mostly are being hurt. So a lot of the discussion about how safe we should be and how much longer we should be in quarantine and isolation and social distancing is really to protect one group of people, and that is the older people. Now, we live in a society that mostly does not do and create their agenda based on the older people. Most of our agenda and the discussion is always about younger people. Younger people control the culture. They control what's in, what's fashionable, what's not fashionable. They are the main part of the discussion. What does our youth say? What is the next group of people that are born? What are they buying? What are they thinking? What are they doing? How do they work? The workplace has to change for the youth. Not that we're telling the youth, do what the older people did. Do it, let's do everything the way the young people do it. Everything is about young, young, young. And yet, here, we are changing our lives temporarily, all for the old. And I want to tell you in the Torah, and we just read it last week in the Torah, we are told how important it is to respect our elders. You should respect those who have white hair, those who are older. Stand up when you see an older person, they come into the room. Not every older person you have to stand up, but many older people who earned their reward because of their difficult life that they live through and the experience that they have, stand up for them. So there's an incredible amount of teachings about how important it is to look up to our elders. Because though maybe at an older age, they're not as capable anymore as us who are full of energy, young are full of energy and driven, and they're not as driven anymore. They don't have that same capacity. But there's one thing they have, that youth, no matter how great your energy level is, no matter how great you are as a person, there's one thing you're missing. And that thing is experience. There's no greater wisdom than a wise, no greater wise person than an experienced person. Someone who has experience in life, has lived with people, has seen it all, has lived through various types of situations, ups and downs, whether it's in the workforce, in the private, personal life, in the relationships, loss of close people. Experience is powerful. And there's so much we can learn from our elders. And Torah tells us to pay attention. You have to give respect to your parents, your grandparents, learn from them. Yes, you don't have to maybe listen to the same music they listen to. Maybe if there's new music coming out that you enjoy more. And maybe sports today is a little different. They used to watch a baseball game while you're going to watch some other types of sports that weren't so popular then, because that's not important. But the important things of life, the important messages of life, of the meaning, the purpose of life, of the wise words of how to keep relationships strong, when to, why don't hold a grudge, why don't get angry, why don't create fights, why try to have peace. With the important things in life, wow, the elders, there's so much they can teach us. And we have to pay attention to the elders. In Judaism, we live our life a lot around the elders, around the guidance, around the wisdom, and around the just to take from them as much as we can. And it's fascinating how society, it says before Mashiach will come, a lot of the values of Torah will become part of the values of society. And here also in society is looking at elders with such concern, and it's true. People understand the concern and they buy into it because our elders are very important to look after. Not just because they can't take care of themselves. Many elders could take care of themselves. It's because if we listen to our elders and we glean the knowledge that they have, just look at their face, which is marked with the years of experience and hard work, how much greater would our life be? How many issues that we deal with and try to grapple with, we'd have direction and guidance how to overcome. Because we'll always have challenges, but when we're stuck in a certain type of basic challenge, we can't go to the bigger one. So when we glean the wisdom from them, we'll have our own personal, individualistic challenges, which will help us grow exponentially. But the value of elders. So do something today to show someone older, a grandparent, an uncle, an aunt, or a random person. Call them, say hi, and tell them you're thinking about them. And perhaps you may open them up and they'll share a little bit with you that will be very, very valuable to you. So shalom and have a great day.